You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome back to Byline Wilmington as we continue our discussion today with Dr. Gary Miller, the new chancellor at the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. If you're just tuning in, he assumed the position on July 1st, succeeding Rosemary DiPaolo, who was the third chancellor of the university. He becomes the fourth, coming to us as vice president of Wichita State University and beating out nearly 100 other applicants for this top post here at UNCW. Wanted to talk about a few things. One of them has to do with the type of students that you have at UNCW. Apparently very bright. Their grade point averages are touted quite a bit. But the flip side of that is that there are some who are not able to get in because they don't have as high a GPA. Right. How do you strike the balance there?
It's difficult. We have close to, this last year, over 11,000 students who wanted to be in our freshman class of 1,980. All of them, many of them are applicants at other universities and highly qualified. And so there is a balance struck. I think what a lot of people don't appreciate probably is that we consider a lot of factors, and when you consider those factors, we still get this high GPA because many of these students do a lot of other things. But there is an active conversation in higher education about admissions. There's a conversation at the state level in that regard. And I can say that we're always looking at our admissions process and our criteria. Now we do have some constraints in that we have to meet certain criteria of the system, but it is important to recognize students who are highly capable and do not show the metrics that other students would, and we work on that. That's just that's something we continue to work on.
Have you formed relationships with Cape Fear Community College that has a feeder program of sorts? Right.
Cape Fear Community College is very important to us, and of course the president there and I have had many conversations. Their students who come to UNCW do very well, and in fact we want to have good relationships with all of the community colleges. I have a lot of experience at working with community colleges in my experience as a provost and as a dean, and I think particularly in today's economy it's very important for four-year universities to have close relationships with community colleges, because the community college to four-year model is for many people the only economic means of getting higher education, and we recognize that and are very will continue to recruit the best students from the community colleges in North Carolina.
What about inroads with the local public school system?
The Watson School of Education has great relationships with public schools here. I've reached out to the superintendent of the local school district. We have a good relationship. It's very important for us at the university to take some responsibility for the products from public schools, since we train the teachers. And this is something that I've always felt strongly about. In my other positions, I've developed very close relationships with public schools. As a citizen, this is very important to me. Our children went to public schools. And so we will continue at UNCW to see ourselves as a partner. They are not just a recipient of the public school product, but as a partner in developing public school students to get them ready to go to college.
Let's talk for a moment about alumni. I imagine that you've already been introduced to that group.
Many of them, they're great. Well, this is a very interesting opportunity for UNCW. We're finishing a capital campaign. We're 93% completed with a $65 million capital campaign. Enormous generosity. And we will move from that into a period of time where we're going to have to very intentionally develop our alumni base as we move forward into future campaigns. We have great leadership in the alumni office right now. The alumni I have met love this place, and it's infectious. Georgia and I have made it a practice to spend time with alumni, both old and new alumni. And I am very optimistic that we're going to have huge success in getting alumni to both support the institution and come back and visit. Now, we have a very young alumni. The university's not that old, but they're very successful. They love the place, and they will be helpful. But I will add something to that. We have a lot of friends, too. This university has an enormous number of non-alumni friends who have also fallen in love with the place. They've come to retire in Wilmington, or they live here, or they were brought here by work. They're attracted to our programs, our athletics, our lifelong learning programs, and they also support the institution. So I think we have a bright future in getting the public to invest in us, and we're looking forward to doing it.
You mentioned Georgia. That is your wife.
Yes, Georgia. She's great. She's a partner. She's professional. She's had a long history, a long career in both for-profit and nonprofit business. Very active in women's issues through the years, and now is fully engaged with me as a non-paid volunteer, non-paid Seahawk for
Again, if you're just tuning into Byline Wilmington, we're wrapping up our discussion this morning with Dr. Gary Miller. He is the new chancellor at the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. We've tried to give you just a snapshot of who he is, coming most recently from Wichita, Kansas, where he was an assistant.
I was provost there.
Provost at Wichita State University. And he's now back on the Eastern Seaboard, reigning as the 4th chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. Thank you for joining me. I'm Rhonda Bellamy.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning as we explore the issues that concern you.